So somebody asked me the other day on one of my Zoom calls if I had to choose one of the many different techniques or practices that I teach to help people heal, get out of chronic pain, out of suffering, and into their best version of themselves, what would that one thing be? And it didn't take me very long to answer. It is this one breath work that I want to share with you in this video. And actually, after I describe what it is and why it's so beneficial, then I want to actually do it with you here in this video. All right? So that one technique was given to me many years ago, and it was called back then Coherence Breath. And the reason why it was called Coherence Breath is because when we are sick, when we are feeling depressed, or we have a lot of anxiety, or we're just in a stress response, typically what happens is you're finding that there is a miscommunication, let's say, things being not regulated in the system, meaning that the breath is not in harmony with what the heart is doing, and the heart is not in harmony with what the brain is doing. So there's all these conflicting messages in the body. And so by doing this one breath work, what happens is all these things come back into right relationship, coherence. And it's a wonderful thing that, again, it's kind of a foundational pillar that I teach in my healing mentorship program, Be Love Heal, to help people begin the process of unburdening all those layers of stress, all those layers of they've been accumulated in their nervous system, whether it's old traumas or just residual pain of every day, like the burdening we do consciously or unconsciously, how that can be washed away with this one technique. So it's also more recently been called the HRV breath work. Most notably, one of the YouTubers, Forrest Knudsen, that I learned this from, he calls it the HRV breath work because now we have the science to back it up, showing that HRV, meaning heart rate variability, when it is tracked and studied in people, what they find is when it is low in individuals, there's an increase of inflammation. There is dysfunctioning in the cellular, how each and every cell functions. And there is also typically more of a stress, a higher level of, let's say, cortisol, adrenaline in the system. When we raise the heart rate variability, suddenly inflammation goes down in the system, the function of the cells perform better, and instead of the system being flooded with these stress response hormones, instead it has those pleasurable hormones like dopamine, serotonin, etc., etc. So it just shows. And interestingly enough, when they started to test these kind of meditative masters, like these people who've been doing meditation for 30, 40 years, what they found is they all have a very high rate of heart rate variability. And then when they tested a lot of the novice beginners, they found that the heart rate variability was very low. So just by doing this one breath work, this coherence breath work, you can raise your heart rate variability in just one session. That's how amazing it is. And of course, if you practice it like how I teach again and again, you begin the process of welcoming and drawing in more that healing response in your body. You're giving your body the best chance to heal whatever you might have, whether it's cardiovascular problems or autoimmune problems, even cancer. This is the way that helps you begin the process to teach your body how to heal. So before we actually do the practice together, few things. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna breathe regularly in through the nose, out initially through the mouth for the first, I don't know, half dozen to dozen breaths. And then we'll just do inhalation, exhalation through the nose. But here's the difference. You're going to extend the exhalation a little bit longer. Okay? So why we do that is because think about it. When you've had a stress in your day, like maybe you almost got suddenly hit with your car, and you do that like I just did, like you go, like you exhale out a little bit longer, you know, you drop your shoulders, right? Like that is a release mechanism in our body. And so we're gonna take full advantage of that and spread that for a longer period of time. And as we do that, it's going to give that message to our nervous system to release, let go, soften, and so on. Now in the beginning, you're probably gonna breathe more from your chest and diaphragm, but what I'm gonna encourage you as we do it together is to drop down into the lower abdomen. That is where you're going to get the most benefit, is when you breathe from the lower abdomen fully and activate your pelvic floor, your legs, and your back body. Okay? So, let's begin. So, sit in a comfortable position, or if you like, you can lay down. If you will, close your eyes and follow my instructions. Begin with just exhaling out fully. And then inhale naturally in through the nose. And once you've kind of filled up your inhalation, you just go right into your exhalation. But now a little longer. And then just repeat that. Inhale. Exhale. Let it out. Inhale. And exhale. So no pause, different from other breath that I teach, but this one, no pause between the breath in or out. And just keep doing that. And as you're doing it, I want you to try to do less. Soften your breath. As best as you can, do it effortlessly. And as you do that, you're starting to awaken that awareness in the body. So maybe you've been really dysregulated in your head with stress. Now you're starting to feel your body. Starting to feel your sit bones, your legs. You're starting to awaken that back body that we talk about. Stimulating the vagus nerve in the dorsal complex in the back of the body. Each exhalation gets a little bit longer. A little more carefree. Releasing this tension, these worries. Relaxing. That's it. Now you're starting to really let go. yourself into peace. Out of pain and into peace with each exhalation. What starts to happen is you start to feel more expansive, more space inside and all around you starts to come online. This is the peace coming back into your life. This is a sure sign you are relaxing into your parasympathetic nervous system. So as you're breathing in and out, just register. This is a healing response my body's having. I am healing in this moment. I am free. And as you experience the calm and centeredness, your breath really starts to let go, really elongates. If it hasn't already, the breath just gets longer and longer. Now you're centered. You've now transitioned into the healing mode. Feel how good that feels. Feel how good it feels to be washed and cleansed with this breath work. Feel how the brain, the heart, the breath now move together as one unified message. It just feels better and better the more you do it. So that's only just a few minutes today. I encourage you to rewatch this video and practice this again and again if you need to. And if you're needing more support, I recommend checking out in the description my Be Love Heal program. We have some spaces available for this fall semester. Thank you all for practicing with me and tuning in to this channel. It means so much to me that each and every one of you, as you join me on this journey of healing, not just our bodies, but our hearts, to reduce, lessen the suffering we all carry, humanity. Have a blessed rest of your day, and I'll see you real soon.